Okay, everyone, be honest. How many people actually watched the whole 18 innings yesterday? It wasn't me, that's for sure. Hey there, how there, ho there, Chef Cutter Diamond welcoming you to Game 4 of the 2025 World Series between the Toronto Blue Jays, that's depicted as this $1.88 cap, and the Blue Jays pullover against the LA Dodgers, the evil empire, if you will, trying to go back to back for the first time in 25 years. Well, first franchise to go back to back in 25 years, which the New York Yankees hold that mark. And I bet you lots of Yankee fans don't want this to happen because they want that record to themselves. Of course, MLB has the longest drought of back to back champions and all that. Football, the Chiefs in the 2020s have done it. Basketball, the last back to back was Golden State in their generational movements in the 2010s. And hockey, the last back to back was the Panthers. Well, currently, they're the current champs, of course. So, yeah, this is the longest drought of the four major sports, and basketball is second. So, anyhow, my attention is going to be a little divided today between the World Series and the Leafs versus the Flames. You'd be asking yourselves why. Why is the Flames Leafs game very important to me? Well, it's because one guy, number 91, John Tavares, or as some people call him, a pork chop, is on 499 career goals. If he scores number 500 again, then, if he scores number 500 tonight, then that means that we will see the second player as a Toronto Maple Leaf to score 500 goals in a career. Not all with the Leafs, of course, but score number 500 as a member of the Leafs, as Matt Sundin on October 16th, 2006 did so against the Flames in overtime on a shorthanded goal, 2-on-1 in overtime. So, yeah, Tavares is trying to get to number 500, and I think the Flames are trying their best not to let that happen. So, of course, it's the double attention. Tavares' 500 potential goal and the World Series. That went 6.5 hours. If I didn't have to work my tail off at work today, I would have definitely been taking a few hours off. Well, I would have been sleeping for only 3.5 hours. Probably I wouldn't be able to sleep and all that, but my body probably would have woken up at like 7:30 and I'd be late for work. But the fact of the matter is that, I left after midnight. Well, midnight was the 4-hour mark, and we were only done 10 innings. 4 hours should be like 3 innings per. Tavares, oh my gosh, he had it. In front, score. Oh, it's Matthews' goal. That's Matthews with the goal. Rats. He should have passed it off to Tavares. Tavares was so close to getting number 500 right there and then. But nope, he didn't get it. Well, Nice is shaking, but I thought it was Matthews in front who got the last puck to make it 3-2 Leafs. So, yeah, Tavares, 91. He had a chance, but he couldn't put it in. Matthews. Oh, that was to Nice. Sorry, Matthews to Nice. I thought it was Nice to Matthews. Well, yeah, Tavares was on the right-hand side. Well, you can't blame Nice for shooting that puck. But, man, that was so close to having John Tavares score number 500. What a moment that would have been. But, no, Leafs are up 3-2. It's no problem. Don't worry, I'll get to the World Series and all that too, but this is an important game. The game did start at 6 Eastern time, so the game should be over by 8:30, and then we'll get to the World Series and all that. So, yeah, I'm just keeping my eye on Tavares because, as a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, I'm hoping he gets to 500 goals. I actually watched that 500 goal for Sundin against the Flames. Well, it was on Hockey Night in Canada on a Saturday night. And the funny thing about that game in 2006 was that Harry Neal, who was Bob Cole's usual right-hand man for hockey, actually got snowed in Buffalo. I guess Buffalo had a snowstorm or something in October, and he couldn't get out of Buffalo. So Cassie Campbell, a legendary Canadian female hockey player, had to be doing color commentary. They said she was kind of nervous and all that, but I mean, dude, you almost come out of freaking nowhere because of Harry Neal not being able to get out of Buffalo. Of course, Bob Cole passed away this year, don't we? And missed there. So the Leafs on the puck. Morgan Riley shoots. Nice stop by Wolf. So, of course, everyone knows that. So just gonna keep an we'll keep an eyeball on NHL scores. The funny thing is, all 32 teams are playing today, and what the NHL is doing, starting at 6:00, is they would be going every 15 or 30 minutes. Like each game would be like basically, how do you say it? Like, intervals, like 15, 30-minute intervals and all that. So all 32 teams will be playing in the NHL. Of course, basketball has 30 teams, football has 32, and baseball has 30 teams. So 2 30s and 2 32s. So yeah, there's the advertisement on TSN. Well, obviously it's on TSN because it's Calgary, Toronto, but it's obvious on TSN because Sportsnet has the NHL as the World Series. So yeah, it would be weird to see Tavares against Columbus. And of course, complete baseball fan. I wonder where he is. I think he might have trivia tonight, right? Or is it Thursdays? Can't remember. I think it's Thursdays he has trivia. And Thursday, there's no World Series game, no matter what. So if the Blue Jays win this game, it's a penalty on the Leafs. Yeah, if the Blue Jays win, we have a game 6 on Halloween night for sure. The Dodgers have to win. Well, the Dodgers have to win both tonight and tomorrow to make this a 5-game series and not send the series back to Toronto. Blue Jay fans around the world are basically thinking, what the hell is going on with this team? I mean, the Blue Jays, if you're on Facebook, I said that our bad base running in the first 10 innings cost us, and they did. We had a couple of guys get thrown out on bad plays, and, that could have helped. Like there was one play, the runner was out of the plate, but that was a couple of perfect relays by the Dodgers. From right field to second base to home for the out. So yeah, I can't get mad at that. It was funny how Vladdy Guerrero Jr. on a seemingly innocent single would go all the way from first to home, only because Bo Bichette didn't have the legs to leg out a double because he's been injured in a sense. I think Bo Bichette should have been the designated hitter because, the legs and all that, but whatever. But anyway, yeah, the Blue Jays, man, 18 innings was just awful. Like I said, at 12 midnight, it was 4 hours, and they only had finished 10 innings. So I was basically saying enough was enough. And, if it was like 12 or 13 innings, fair enough, in 40 hours, that's good enough. Like 3 innings per hour. But it wasn't. There were a lot of changes. They with the whole Vladdy single and all that, they had to review it in a sense because when the ball went down the right field line, there was a Fox audio guy who had to jump back into his perch, but it hit him. But they basically said that anything inadvertent interference, basically the play keeps going and it's not a dead ball. After that, Fox guy got fired. I don't know. So, yeah, 4 hours of watching it. Blue Jays were up 4-2 and 5-4. It looked like the Blue Jays were going to pull it off, go up 2-1. We needed this win because, OHTANI-san's pitching tonight. And if it wasn't for – I thought we could take down Glasnow and then, we're up 2-1. OHTANI ruins us. It's 2-2, no big deal. And then, it's the best of 3 for the world title. Anything was possible. But no. Now it's 2-1. OHTANI-san's a good pitcher. If the Blue Jays can win, that'd be great. Even if they don't beat OHTANI technically, they win the game. I'll take what I could get. It'll be a best of 3, and we will see Game 6 in Toronto on Friday night, no matter what. Of course, the big thing with OOTP is that today is an off day for OTP, and instead you'll see some PC replay baseball, like the all franchise tournaments, like the AONN quarterfinals, best of 5 with day 1 action and all that. And then, you know, OTP comes back tomorrow for the World Series between the Phillies and the A's. Of course, you know, the A's franchise used to be in Philadelphia. So yeah, Philly faces Oakland. Oakland scored the most wins, so that means the Oakland A's are the home team for the OTP Legends League Series, and the format's going to be a little different. Wishing you the best, Cutter. Wishing the Blue Jays the worst. I'll take what I can. I'll take what I can get. So yeah, wishing World First Gamer from beautiful Port Huron, Ontario, is in the booth. Beautiful Southwestern Ontario and all that. You know, I know he's picking on the Blue Jays and all that as a Yankee fan, which is fine. I mean, like, you know, that's fine. Like, I can take the hint and all that. I could take the slings and arrows. So, World's First Gamer, you must have been happy, of course, yesterday's game. Blue Jays losing in 18 innings. But you know what? If the Blue Jays had not done some horrible base running in the first 10 innings, I think the Jays would have won in regulation. So you got to think that, you know, if it wasn't for our bad base running, I think the Jays would have won and gone up 2-1. And OHTANI beats us. That's fine. It's 2-2. And, you know, best of 3 coming back to Toronto for sure, for one game at least. But that's the thing. So anyway, yeah, I changed my look and all that. Game 4 plans actually went bust because game 4 I was supposed to go see a buddy of mine, well, my buddy Bill Lang, and I went to see game 3 at the establishment, but there were barely any people there because, you know, people forget about that. Told the story when it quite frankly wasn't called for. Yeah, I know. Scherzer should have finished that 5th inning because he would have been characterized as the win. But yeah, the bullpen, like, you know, everyone says Little sucked in 18th, and he was the guy who gave up the home run to Freeman. But the Jays had little options left. I mean, you don't want to put Bieber in, and Shane Bieber is starting tonight against OHTANI. Like, I don't blame Little for that loss. I blame, you know, the base running and the fact that, you know, the Jays just had too many people left on base for their own good. So, you know, and like that's so they're saying to win that game. I would never have pulled them. Yeah, I thought so too. When Scherzer did that ALCS game and he basically put the F-bomb to Mr. Schneider. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, the Blue Jays botched it and all that. Well, Scherzer, I think people forgot that Scherzer was an LA Dodger at one point. I forgot about that too. But MLB Fault on YouTube had the channel saying major players who played for both the Blue Jays and Dodgers. I knew Sean Green was a Blue Jay and a Dodger, and of course Teoscar Hernandez, but I forgot Max Scherzer was a Dodger at one point. Who else was there? There was Justin Turner. I forgot Justin Turner was a Blue Jay for a little bit. I knew he was a Dodgers icon, but yeah, you know, OHTANI already mowing people down. Well, it's OHTANI. What do you expect? Of course, my attention right now is not on the World Series in a sense. I'm watching the Leafs and Flames right now because John Tavares is 1 goal away from 500. So I want to see if Tavares can get to 500 tonight. He had a chance early in the 3rd period. He had a chance, but Dustin Wolf, the goalie, kind of cut down his angle. And then Matthew Nye scored with OHTANI. Well, Tavares was on the right-hand side, but, oh, yeah, I guess I should be playing with this hand because obviously my right hand, when I put it up in front of the camera, it goes to the left and vice versa. So, yeah, so yesterday I had my Batista jersey on and a Blue Jays hat that one of my co-workers, Camille Fernando, gave to me. And I wrote on this side. Yeah, I wrote on this side RWD for Ronald William Diamond. That's my dad. And on this side, I wrote EM for Eric Markin, my coworker who died in, was it August? He died August 28th. Okay, because I have his obituary on my desk and all that. I have a nice desk and all that. So yeah, that was one of the worst moments because a coworker dying is not fun in any shape or form whatsoever. And it was just a brief illness he died of. And unfortunately though, it ruined the morning. I get into work at 7:30 in the morning, and then I start at 8 for the first. Our Canadian Tire opens at 8 o'clock, and practically what happens is that there's people coming in to start for an 8 o'clock start and all that, and the whole conversation stuff basically died down when Eric passed. So I'm almost having no conversations with anybody before my shift and all that. So that kind of ruined it because Eric was a fantastic guy about this. I Okay. Here's the link for Eric Markin video because I did a live stream about Eric. I just have to get to my videos and all that and. ERIK. Yeah, I did PC replay. So World's Worst Gamer, do you want me to post the PC replay baseball tribute I did from I did 8 Toronto Blue Jays player teams to face each other and just basically 4 matches and all that? Or I'll give you the tribute video. Okay. Yeah. It's up to you. So yeah. So yeah. So that's the video. In the link is the video about Eric. So that's the thing though. Yeah, the Eric Markin tribute video and all that. That's the one I did on him. It was 18 minutes. Obviously, well, when I did the stuff when he first died on the 29th, the day after, it was a live stream, but that was a video version. So yeah, that's just brutal and all that. But yeah, Eric was truly a great guy and all that. His life experiences were amazing. He almost made it onto the roster of the Calgary Stampeders as kicker. He just came out of freaking nowhere to almost kick for the Calgary Stampeders in 1981. JT Hay was the guy who won the kicking mark, if you must know. So yeah, that's just brutal and all that. But yeah, so the Jays are trying to win to tie the series at 2 and make it a best of 3 for the belt. I guess I shouldn't really say belt, but whatever. So I had some boneless chicken bites before the game. I'm just eating. You'll probably see me snacking on Cinnabon. R.I.P. Eric. Damn right. So yeah, boneless wings are awesome. Damn right they are. And then you don't have to choke on them. I almost choked on boned wings when I was 21 in 2005. Was it 2005? Yeah, September 2005. I remember watching SmackDown, and then I started choking on that. My brother, who was living with me at the time, well, I was with my brother, and then he basically didn't recognize me trying to give them the signal, I'm choking. But fortunately, I managed to puke it up. Hope you're having a good night, Cutter. Yeah, the game has started, so not a good start for the Jays. So yeah, I'm actually surprised you're not. Streaming today, Silch, because I know you stream a lot. Yeah, Alejandro Kirk popped out, and the Blue Jays had runners on first and second, Barger and Bichette, but Kirk pops up. So nothing on the board for the Blue Jays. But, anything can happen. Anything's possible. Yeah, not a good start because of the whole thing that hopefully the Jays would score a run or two. So yeah, my mind is on the Leaf game right now because John Tavares is trying to get to goal number 500. Only 48 hockey players has ever scored 500 goals in a season. I mean, in a career. Only once has a Leaf hit number 500. Needed a break tonight. Eh. Well, you get the fuse. I mean, if you look at World's Worst Gamer, like Silch does Subnautica and a few other games and all that, and he gets the big boy and all that. Yeah, for a while there, I would constantly check my food every single time I went out with a friend and son, having teeth pulled, feelings not staying filled, etc. Creates a situation like that. Yeah, Subnautica, like he does pretty good. Like he does 3+ hours on that game and all that. I can barely play a game for more than 3 hours. At one time, I would have to take a hiatus. I'd take a break. But yeah, he's done some great job. He's gotten triple digit fuse and all that. Like, why can't I get my triple digit fuse? Oh well, that's okay. But yeah, Silch is my co-worker in the warehouse. Like he's above me on the tier list. There's Alan, then Silch, then myself for receiving and all that. I just practically am receiving in a partial sense because I also have to clean the front of the store, like the parking lot and all that, the garbages, and then clean the inside garbages now because they got rid of the contractor. No, the cleaning company. Yeah. Start using thumbnails if you're more clicks. The problem is, like, I don't completely. Yeah, I need thumbnails. I need better thumbnails. Yeah, that's true. That's always why. I guess that's why I never get the views is the thumbnail. But the problem is, like, I can never think of a good thumbnail and all that. I might have to. I think Wondershare allows you. Yeah, 1,000 views per video. Well, not really 1,000. I said triple fit digits, but yeah. So yeah, these will create some for you. I think does Wondershare do that? I don't know if Wondershare. I don't know if Wondershare allows thumbnail creation because that's what I use for my video editor is Wondershare for all my videos. So yeah, like Silch gets like all these randos and all that. But I think Silch doesn't do like subscribers only stuff like I do. But I do the subscribers only chat because then nobody comes into my chat and just basically says something obscene and all that could get me in deep trouble. All that I think that nothing bad's happened. All that Domi, no. All right, but anyhow. So yeah, Blue Jays and Dodgers right now, bottom of the first. OHTANI walks. I wonder if that was intentional. I think it was intentional, in a sense, right? I think that was intentional. Oh no, that was not intentional. That was a unintentional walk because I know that rumors were circulating that OHTANI was going to get a lot of get some intentional walks. Calgary just tied the game against the Leafs. That's not good. You got a Hornet check. Scoring goal. Yeah, so that's brutal about the Leafs and all that. But yeah, I just don't like people giving me flack and all that. But it doesn't matter and all that. So yeah, but yeah, the thumbnails. I'll need one. I'll need one maybe. Flames tying the game. Yay. Leaf fans, boo. Stadium boos, boo. Anyway, I know RGL is doing his stuff, and as of right now, the Astros are quickly winning 2-1. So in his tabletop game, so it looks like Houston's going to be halfway to the title. well, he redoes the 1999 regular season and all that, and the Astros and Rangers are in the finals. But anyway, knuckle curve ball by Bieber, and Mookie flies out to Barger, and that'll send Otani-san back to first. So no real changes. Yeah, no changes for the Dodgers in their lineup. Ever since game one, Otani's been the number one guy, the DH. Well, he's pitcher, so he can hit. Mookie at short, Freddie Freeman playing first, the hero of last night. Will Smith at catcher, Teoscar playing right field, Max Muncy playing third, Tommy Edman at second, Kiki Hernandez playing left, and Andy Patches playing center. For the Blue Jays, Nathan Lucas is leading off. Well, Springer is hurt and not playing, so Lucas at left. Flaherty Jr. batting second at first. Bo Bichette will DH. Well, that's a smart move because, he can hit and he doesn't have to worry about playing the field. Addy Barger will play right and bat fourth. Alejandro Kirk catching. Jonathan Marshall center. Ernie Clement at third. Jimenez playing short, and Kiner Falefa batting ninth. So that's the story Morning Glory. Right now, Flames and Leafs will be tied, which means I'm thinking that if we go to overtime, the Leafs will try every trick in the book to get John Tavares the puck and to get him that goal number 500. I mean, Matt Sundin scored number 500 in overtime in 2006 for the Leafs against the Flames. Why can't Tavares? This would be a spooky situation. I think if anything, this would be probably the first time in history. Carter, you have Discord. Do I have Discord? Probably not paid. I think I have Discord. I think I do have Discord, but I don't think I have like the high-end Discord. I think it's just more like the free Discord and all that. And the problem with me is that there's a couple of games for the PC like I have that don't show like a share screen, and I've been trying to get them, like 2nd and 10 football. Like I try to share my screen about that football, but it doesn't pop up. I don't know if there's something fishy or what. Or maybe I just realized something. Because one of the Pogo games, Trizzle, doesn't work unless I disable the graphics acceleration. And I have had it disabled for like 3 days because, playing for points. I was playing Trizzle, and that game does not work when it's graphics acceleration for some dumb reason. But, that's life. What was I looking for? Oh, yeah. List of NHL players for 500 goals. I just want to see if anyone scored their 500th goal. Like a team has had their 2 or more players score 500 goals against the same team. I don't think it's ever happened before. Rangers, Flyers, Canucks, Maple Leafs. Chicago's had 5 guys score 500 goals. Their 500 goal as a Hawk, but none of them against the same team. I think that's never happened before. Oops, hold on. No, Detroit. Steve Yzerman and Brandon Shanahan both scored their 500 goal as Red Wings against Patrick Waugh and the Colorado Avalanche. So there's something there. Okay. Now I know. And I think, is that the only one? Devils, Blackhawks, Canucks, North Stars, Devils, Islanders, Rangers, Flyers, Stars, Sabres. I think that's it. I think so. Yep, that's the only one. Yep, that's the only one. Yeah, we all used the. Yeah, we all used the free versions. I have to kind of see where my Discord is and all that. Like I know I have it and I haven't used it for a while. I think because it's like, well, pointless, but yeah, that's not easy. Oops. Dodgers get nothing. Good day, sir. Freeman was on first base, but they flew out. So 3 up. Well, I mean, not really 3 up, 3 down, but yeah, no score. through one inning. I don't know how tired these two teams must be because the game ended at 2:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 11:30 p.m. Pacific. And so practically they had 18 hours, less than 18 hours, to prepare for the next game. So, yeah, that's got to be a... No, I appreciate the help. Like, I'm sure I can get a thumbnail. I think I can make a thumbnail for stuff. But, well, if the Blue Jays do lose, then it's almost moot. I hate pronouncing this. The fact of the matter is that, honestly, Game 4 was not going to be a stream. I was going to be over at a friend's house. But because those plans backfired, I'm doing a stream tonight and all that. Tomorrow will probably not be I probably won't be able to stream tomorrow night because I'm going to be over at said buddy's house. Look out, shut the door! Oh, they should have given it to Tavares. Oh, but Max Domi scores his second of the night, 4-3. I would have wanted to see him drop past to Tavares for number 500. But, well, Max Domi, good player, 2 goals. The funny thing is, I booed Max Domi one time. When he was with the London Knights in 2015, me and my buddy Bill Lang, who, if you're on Facebook and see me on Facebook and, you know, that picture of me and my buddy from yesterday, that's who it was, Bill Lang. We got tickets to see the Knights face Kitchener at the Odd, and, you know, twice we saw the London Knights, and we were booing Domi, Domi, Domi. And the other fans close to us were laughing and all that. So, yeah, that was big. But that was 10 years ago, man. Back when it was thinner, cuter, and had more hair. But, yeah. So, we'll see. Ooh, mama. Puck's out. I wonder if Calgary will go to 6 attackers. Used to be hard and smart. Yeah, Ty Domi was everyone's favorite because of his gruffness. He could score goals too. Like, he wasn't like a 1-goal guy. Like, he could score multiple goals. That's a long time ago. Yeah. That's a long time ago for me too. I mean, I'm 40. So, like, I know about Ty Domi's time with the Leafs and all that. He was 11 when why is he going? He's going for the empty net? Brutal mistake by Stolars. I don't know why he went for the net. Well, I guess he wanted to dump it out. But, yeah. Yeah, so 91. It was a nice passing play and all that. But I was hoping Tavares would get the puck. Yeah, Tavares was trailing on that play, but they didn't give him the goal. So, yeah, it would have been nice to see number 500. 500 goals is huge because if you're a 40-goal scorer, if you're a 50-goal scorer, kind of like what Connor McDavid is nowadays, or Draisaitl, you have to do it 10 times. You have to do it for 10 years to get to 500, in a sense. Like, you have to average 50 goals a year for 10 years. Or 40 goals for, 12-plus years and all that. And, a lot of NHL careers, yeah, you got, careers of, 15, 20 years and all that. But, Sidney Crosby's not even a 500-goal scorer. He scored a lot of points, but he's scored a lot of assists. Ovechkin, obviously, is the goal-scoring king after taking care of Wayne Gretzky's record, which we thought was unattainable. But Ovechkin played hard. The key thing with Ovechkin and not Crosby is that Ovechkin has been practically healthier than Sidney Crosby. Crosby had once lost a good part of the 2011 season? Yeah, it was when he had those double concussions and all that. But yeah, not easy in the NHL and all that because you have to skate and shoot and all that. You have to skate, and I'm like Bambi on ice. I wonder if Tavares is out on the ice now. 91. Let's see. Flames want to tie it. I don't really see him. No, I don't see 91. Are they going to give him a chance for number 500? Or is a softie? Once a softie, always a softie. He still is. Puck down the ice. Icing. That's an icing call. He wanted to go for it. Brendan Carlo, defenseman, wanted to go for the empty net, but he went wide left. And obviously, you're not allowed to change players during an icing call. So, yeah, I think they'll call timeout. Yeah, that puck was skidding, skittles. Yeah, I think they got to get Tavares out there. Was super talent. You mean is? Ovechkin's still in the league. He's still playing to this day. He's still playing. Like, Ovechkin, yeah, obviously. Russia is, oh, no, shoot. I think they're going to try to give, is Tavares on the ice? I don't think that he is. Nuts. They're not going to give it. Yeah, Ovechkin, yeah, Ovi. Nope. So no way. Not tonight. Yeah, not tonight. Tavares will not get number 500 tonight. So, yeah. So I feel so bad for Tavares. I wanted him to get to 500 tonight. Oh, well, let's switch her to the World Series and get my full attention to the World Series now that, Tavares' 500th goal is not happening tonight. So, yeah. So Tavares did not get 500 tonight. Yeah, so they're talking some stuff here. They're talking smack. So yeah, so Bieber is back on the bump, wearing the light blues. The Blue Jays wore dark blue yesterday, and now they're wearing their baby blues today. Bottom of the second, no score. OHTANI doing his job. Bieber should be able to do his job. That's why we got him in free agency, and allegedly he's going to opt out of his contract, meaning he'll be a free agent at the end of the year. Of course, Teoscar Hernandez was a pretty good player for the Blue Jays and also the Dodgers. But anyway, yeah, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs in the postseason. That's pretty good. Yeah, OHTANI just ripped us apart yesterday. 2 homers, 2 doubles, and 5 intentional walks and all that. But yeah, 2 homers, 2 doubles. They actually said that's the first time that's ever been done since 1906 with Frank Isbell. 1906 White Sox. But yeah, that was when the hitless wonders ruled the roost because they did it with their pitching, not really with their hitting. Hitting in 1906 is a lot different than it is now in 2025. So, yeah. And now Max Muncy, who was the hero of the other 18-inning World Series game in history. I mean, we all know about last night's 18-inning game, but what about the other 18-inning game? That was Max Muncy's home run. Although the situation was a lot different than it is this time. The Dodgers were down 2-0 in that World Series in 2018. Won Game 3, almost won Game 4. They should have won Game 4 for momentum, but then they botched it, and the Bull Sox won Games 4 and 5. And freaking David Price did the job for the Red Sox, whereas where the hell was this for the 2015 Blue Jays? When the Blue Jays basically wished and won it and got him from the Tigres. So, yeah, so Max Muncy, 3 balls, no strikes. This will probably be an automatic take. Well, he didn't swing at that one. That was way high, ball 4. So, Tommy Edmonds coming in. RJL right now has Houston looking pretty good. Evelyn. What the hell are they talking about, Evelyn? So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess I should be, looking at everything. Edmund foul down the right field line. So, looks like this could be a tight game again and all that. the question on everyone's lips will be, if it gets tight again going to extra innings and all that, will I watch the whole game? Well, I stopped after 10 because, I have to start work at 8 in the morning and all that. My stupid subconscious told me that the Blue Jays won in 20 innings, and then one other part of my subconscious told me the Jays lost in 12. I was close though. Jays did lose it in 18 innings. Like, that's two full ball games. You know how Ernie Banks says, "Let's play two"? Well, he played two. The longest Blue Jay game in history was 19 innings, and that was on Canada Day 2016, I'd say. Yeah, against Cleveland. That was when, they had to use a position player to play, and they lost the game on a home run. And up the middle, base hit. He's going for third. He will be there. Yeah, the throw's cut off. So the runners on the corners, one out. And here comes number 8 hitter, Kiki Hernandez. Well, it's Enrique Hernandez, but I call him Kiki, but it's Kiki Hernandez. So yeah, nice hit by Edmund through the hole and all that. So yeah. Yeah, the Jays lose this thing. I think it's basically curtains for Toronto, because I look at it this way: coming back from 3-1 down in the World Series is not really that big. Not a lot of teams have done that. I know the Cubs are the last team to do that. That was 2016, but they were on a mission to break that 100-year drought. Up, he keeps it in front of him. That's a smart move. You keep the ball in front of you because, what can happen? So yeah. So the Blue Jays, well, Kiki Hernandez, no home runs in the postseason, but does he really need a home run? No. He's an icon. He's played so many games with the Dodgers. He actually holds the record for most postseason games by a Dodger. That's Kiki Hernandez, breaking Justin Turner's mark. But it's biased because, the Dodgers play like 3 playoff rounds a year, whereas the all-timers like Hodges and Duke and Campanella and Jackie only could play 1 postseason round, and they had to win the National League to do so. Imagine what would happen in a 3-round playoff thing. We would see maybe some massive upsets and in the World Series and all that. Maybe like one of those pesky Yankee teams from the late 40s, early 50s doesn't get to the World Series if we have like a 2 or 3 playoff round scenario. 1-1. Foul. What about 2 strikes? On Hernandez, Blue Jays, 18 innings is not thing to sneeze at, because, watching an 18 inning game is hard. Like, if the World Series, if it started like at 4:00 Eastern time, you could watch it. You could definitely watch a 6-hour game. But there's been no weekday World Series games since 1987, which is pathetic. But I mean, baseball wanted to get the whole money thing, and a lot of baseball fans couldn't get off work and all that, unless you were in the local area. But yeah, that was why they went to postseason baseball for all. I mean, the time slots and all that were big. And now Fox has had the World Series every year in the 21st century. Like, the last time the World Series was not on Fox was 1999 for NBC. The 2-2 to Enrique. Swinging to left field. Ooh, just foul by a few feet. That was so close to being fair. In fact, probably might have scored 2 runs. I mean, the Jays were down 2-0 yesterday, but came back to lead 4-2 and then botched that. It was 4-4. It was 5-4. Blue Jays headed into the 8th inning, the bottom of the 8th, when OHTANI went deep. If it wasn't for that home run for OHTANI, I think the Jays would have won that game. And then those base running errors would have been all forgiven in Blue Jay land for all those mistakes, because the Jays would have probably won. To right field, this is definitely going to be a sac fly. And it will be a sac fly. Well, that was deep enough. So 1-0 Dodgers. Hernandez does his job. So the Dodgers have just scored a run. Looks good for Houston against Texas to go up 2-0 in the RGL network tournament. So hopefully I get some RGL guys coming over to my stream and all that. But that's probably not going to happen. So, you know, it is what it is. Pitch is a strike. Yeah, I guess I should have done thumbnails. Never say never. Yeah. Man, that Andy Padgett guy, pretty good. 28 home runs in the regular season, the number 9 hitter, but he's been terrible in the postseason. Very terrible. I mean, I guess the Dodgers don't really have an outfielder that could replace him. And all that. Like last round, the Mariners had Ken Zone, who really sucked with his batting average, but at least they had like Victor Robles in as a fourth outfielder. Padgett swings the ball to center, should be caught. Oh, he got it. Phew. Okay, so Jays give up one, but that's only one. All right, so commercial break. Let's take a look at the NHL schedule, the scores right now. That's 16 games. Yeah, that's amazing. There have been, how many games are over? Well, the Leafs Flames game is over. That's the only game that's complete. As the Penguins and Flyers are 2-2 in overtime. Canes lead the Knights 3-2. Sabres lead the Jackets 3-2. Ducks lead the Panthers 2-0 at the second intermission. Second period, Boston leads the Islanders 3-2. Tampa just scored against the Predators, so they'll be heading to the second period soon. Jets lead the Wild 2-0 at first intermission. Red Wings Blues in the first 1-1. Capitals Stars starting soon. Ottawa Chicago starts soon. Devils Avalanche starts soon. Mammoth Oilers at 9:30. That's Utah versus Edmonton. New York Vancouver 10. Oh, Sportsnet 360. I get that channel. I can watch the Rangers game against the Canucks. Maybe I'll flip through that. But anyway, Canadians Kraken. And then LA San Jose the Ice the day. So yeah, 4-3 Blue Leafs won. Flames goals by Morgan Frost, Joe Farabee, and Sam Honsack. Max Domi with a pair, and Matthew Nice with a pair. A couple of pairs, but not John Tavares. So Johnny Tavares, Flyers just scored in overtime. It's an overtime winning goal by Tyson Forster. And the Flyers beat the Penguins 3-2. So that game is over and done with. I want to see if the Raptors are playing tonight and all that. NBA.com is telling me, what are the Raptors playing tonight or no? Nope. Raptors are 1-3. They play the Rockets tomorrow on TSN at 6:30 Eastern time. So the Raptors moved their game to 6:30 to get away from the Blue Jays coverage. So yeah, there's a couple games. Yeah, the Blue Jays, the Raptors are 1-3. Indiana's 0-3. Brooklyn's 0-4. Indiana's the shock at 0-3 in basketball because, well, they did get to the finals, but unfortunately, Tyrese Halliburton is out for the year with an ACL thing. Boston's lost Jaylen Brown to an ACL thing. And Damian Lillard. Was it Damian Lillard who also has an ACL thing? I think so. In the East, only the Bulls and Sixers are undefeated. Going back to the 2010s being very good. San Antonio, even though Greg Popovich isn't coaching anymore, or is he coaching still? I think the Spurs, no, that's not his coach. No, Mitch Johnson's the coach. Yeah, I was going to say Popovich isn't coach anymore in San Antonio. They're 4-0. Wow. Oklahoma City's 4-0. Well, they're defending champs and with two Canadians, Shea Griggers, Alexander, and Lou Dort. New Orleans is the only team in the West without a win. So, got that going. So, yeah, that game's over in Philly as the Flyers beat up on Sid the Kid and the Penguins in overtime heroics. So, you got all that going. I'm I'm just going to be video editing as well. So time to time you'll hear a ding because that's when my video is done and all that. I kind of like Wondershare for more, especially on my laptop, because on the PC, it would take me like 20, 30 minutes for like a 30-minute video to like create and to, well, edit and then make it into the MP4. But now that I have it on the laptop, it takes like 5 minutes. It takes like 5 to 10 minutes. So it takes a lot, so that I have a lot of time to do other videos and other projects and to look at shit. I am kind of weird. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows the assignment with me. Grandpa the Second by IKF. No, you kind of knew that was going to happen. You kind of knew. You ought to know. So yeah, so no score here. Insiders report. So yeah, I'm actually debating whether to put a Simpsons episode down. Like rendering takes the most horsepower. Yeah, rendering does. It sure does. Yeah, so PC Replay Baseball will be up and running soon. Like, I'm just going to make sure that I get all that going. Yeah, PC Replay Baseball doing the L franchise tournament. Because Out of the Park Baseball has a designated day off for October 28th before the World Series starts October 29th. In that universe, of course. You Replay Baseball. Spell it right. With the capital B. All franchise tourney league quarters. Day 1. Game 1, I should say. GM1. Yeah, league quarters. I got to learn all that. Lucas, that's a beautiful ball to right field. And Teoscar will turn around. Lucas smartly decides to stay at first. So that's what you do. So, yeah, Dodgers trying to win to go up 3-1 on the Blue Jays, and it almost seems over. The experts are, I can't remember. Is it 7 times a team has come back from 3-1 in the World Series? I think it's 7. These are come 3-1 series deficits in Major League Baseball. Okay, let's see here. Beach ball. We are in Los Angeles, after all. Why would you bring a beach ball to a freaking baseball game? It's just as bad as looking at your watching stuff on your tablet while you're at the game. I mean, a lot of parents probably take a tablet for their kids to be entertained while they watch the baseball game, but whatever. So yeah, World Series is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay, 6. So yeah, 6 times. So that 1925 Pirates against the Senators. Washington were the defending world champions with Walter Big Train Johnson, but he was getting a little older. And then Pittsburgh won that game 7, 9-7. 1958 Yankees Braves. Braves looked like they were going to go back to back, just like the Senators. But thanks to, I would say was it Bob Turley who basically pitched every game 5, 6, 7, and basically his longevity actually his endurance actually saved him. Vladdy de la Field back at the fence. Say goodbye. That one. Blonde cutter. That's the Vladdy Jr. You don't need the high step. We don't need that step. But yeah. Well, the Jays are up 2-1, so Vladdy Jr. doing his job off of OHTANI-san. So our superstar gets one off their superstar, just the way nature intended it to be. Maybe, just maybe, the Blue Jays will win tonight. and at least force a game 6 back in Toronto on Halloween. So yeah. So obviously I'm going to be wearing my Blue Jays gear on Halloween and all that. Ground ball 4-3 for Bichette. And yeah, he can't hightail it down the line. You can tell how injured he is. But he's the DH, so he's there to hit, not play in the field. Yeah, so great job by Vladdy. High in the zone, he got her. Yeah, the Yankees against the Braves. 1968 World Series. The Cardinals were up 3-1 with Bob Gibson doing his job, but then the Tigers won 3 straight games, including a 13-1 game in Game 6. And then Game 7 was when the Cardinals with Bob Gibson were supposed to win, but then Kurt Flood mishandled Jim Northrup's triple, cleared the bases, and basically that was the end of Kurt Flood's time as a Cardinal. All that. And then 1979, Pirates against the Orioles. Orioles were up 3-1. Great pitching, but the Pops, Pop Stargell and We Are Family for the Pirates, including the fact that Chuck Tanner's mom actually died before Game 5, and yet that might have been a key and all that. Barger takes a strike. So yeah, and then the 85 World Series was when the Cardinals were up 3-1, but those pesky Royals won 3 straight, including that infamous Game 6 in which Stankinger screwed the Cardinals over. The Cardinals were up 1-0, and then there was a play at the bag at first base in the 9th inning, which should have saw the Royal, the first out of the inning and all that, but no, guess not. And then there was a comedy of errors. I mean, Jack Clark misjudged a foul pop-up that would have given them an out. They had terrible defensive positioning. Darryl Porter let a ball past them, and then a 2-run single by Dane Orch. And then Game 7, the Cardinals lost 11-0. They basically spent more time trying to go after Dankinger than trying to go after the Royals. And then the 2016 World Series, of course, Cubs and Indians and Cleveland with a chance to win their first title since 1948, Cubs since 1908. Cleveland was up 3-1, but the Cubs somehow pulled it off, especially winning in Cleveland. So anyway, that's what happened here. There were 3 times that a team actually went down 3-1 to force a Game 7. It was the 1912 when the Giants did so against the Boston Red Sox. But the Bo Sox won in the 10th, bottom of the 10th. The Giants actually scored a run to be up 2-1, and then Fred Snodgrass made what they called the $10,000 muff, in that he muffed a fly ball, which cost them $10,000 in share money. However, John McGraw, the Giants manager, never held it against Snodgrass. He even paid Snodgrass more that year. Yeah, that's when the Bo Sox won in the first year of Fenway Park in history. 1967, the Red Sox were down 3-1 to Bob Gibson and crew. Won the next 2, but Bob Gibson did pitch Game 7, and you knew they were fucked. And then since he was down 3-1 to Oakland, won a couple of key games, but in Game 7, Oakland survived in Cincy. So yeah, got all that. Why don't we just take a look at the other sports, like basketball, like only one team in history, only one team in NBA history came back from 3-1 down in the NBA Finals. I thought it was a couple of times. I thought it was like 2 or 3 times, but no, that's not. And that was the Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors were up 3-1 on Cleveland, and then Klay Thompson freaking decided to be a bitch and get himself ejected and suspended for Game 5, and that was the turning point. Cleveland, LeBron's block on Iguodala's layup, and then the 3-pointer by Kyrie Irving. Twice a team in the NBA Finals were down 3-1 to force Game 7. That was the Knicks were down 3-1 to Rochester, the team that was before Sacramento. The team that's now the Sacramento Kings. So yeah, the Knicks were down 3-0 in that series, but lost Game 7 to Rochester. And then the Lakers were down 3-1 to the Celtics in 1966. That was the last year Boston had their eight titles in a row. In the NHL, only once has it happened in the Stanley Cup Finals. That was 1942, the first time a team came back from 3-1 down, and that was the Leafs. They were down 3-0 to Detroit. And then they won the next 4 games. Jack Adams, the famous Wings GM and coach, didn't do himself any favors by basically berating and harassing a referee by the name of Mel Hardwood and basically getting himself kicked out of the series. And then the Leafs took it from there. Yeah, 32 times an NHL team has come back from 3-1 down. In basketball, it's been done 13 times. In baseball, it's been done 14 times. In the NHL, it's much more common. Of course, football doesn't count because football is one game winner, frickin' take all. OHTANI, did it go? I don't think so. Nope, I thought so. Yeah, coming back from 3-1 down. I mean, when you look at it, 1992 saw 3 teams come back from 3-1 down to win 3. Swing and a miss. OHTANI strikes out. Wow, Bieber got him. And that's the first strikeout of the game. Holy Saint Laurent. Yeah, twice in 87, 3 times in 1992. The Red Wings were up 3. The North Stars were up 3-1 on the Detroit Red Wings. And then the Red Wings, I can't remember. Well, game 6 was when Sergei Fedorov scored in overtime. And that was the series in which, they had to go to video replay for the first time in a playoff game. And it went in under the crossbar. Detroit won game 7 on home ice. And that was the last time the North Stars were in the playoffs, in Minnesota. Mookie down to third base. Oh, it's caught by Clement on the run. So that counts as an out. 92, also 92, Vancouver were down 3-1 to the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg barely winning playoff series as the Jets in their first incarnation. But the Canucks actually crushed it. The final 3 games, they actually, as the notes say, that the Canucks actually won game 5 by 6 and then game 6 and 7 by 5. So they had a plus 16 goal differential in the final 3 games. That's amazing. That's when the Jets were very snake bit. And the Penguins against the Washington Capitals. Penguins were down 3-1 to Washington. That was actually a massive move because not only did they come back from 3-1 to win the next 3 against Washington, they actually won. They actually swept the. Well, actually, no, sorry. They lost the first 2 games to the New York Rangers, swept, and then won the next 4. And then they won 4 against Boston and. That can't be right. No, sorry. They were down 2-1 to the Rangers, winning the next 3 games, and then 4-4 makes 11 straight wins. ...2003 saw 3 comebacks from 3-1 down. Minnesota doing it twice. The Minnesota Wild doing it twice in 1 year. They did it to Colorado, retiring Patrick Roy from the NHL, and then against Vancouver in the conference semifinals. The Canucks were actually up 3-1 on the Wild, which was ironic because the other time teams came back from 3-1 series deficit was the Canucks against the Blues. So yeah, the Canucks had actually, that was the 3rd time they were down 3-1 to an opponent to come back to win. So anyway, yeah, and then the Wild and Canucks played, and the Canucks were up 3-1, and then they freaking got bit. He lives by the 3-1 comeback, dies by the 3-1 comeback. Minnesota went to the conference finals against Anaheim, but Jagger ruined them. 2010 saw a pair. 2014 saw a pair. And the last one was 2023 when the Bruins choked it. In the Stanley Cup Finals, only 6 times in NHL history has a team finals history that a team come back from 3-1 down in the Stanley Cup Finals. 1945, the Leafs were up 3-0, and the Wings forced a game 7 and almost did the exact same thing. But Babe Pratt scored with 8 minutes left in game 7, which was huge. It was actually the first Game 7 in a Cup final in history, which the road team won. 1954, the Habs were down 3-1, forced a Game 7, but the Red Wings with Tony Lesniak scored the goal in overtime. 1987, the Flyers were down 3-1. J.J. Daniel, the hero in Game 6. When in Game 7, Edmonton won it. 94, the Rangers were up 3-1, trying to end their 54-year Cup drought. Canucks forced a Game 7, but the Rangers thankfully won 3-1. Thankfully. 2006, the Canes were up 3-1 on the oil drop. A lot of Canadians wanted Edmonton to win, not me. Fernando Pisani was a hero in overtime in Game 5. Short-handed, he scored the overtime goal. And then Game 6, Edmonton went on home ice. And then they lost to Carolina in Game 7. And then the last one was the 2024 Stanley Cup Finals, in which the Oilers were down 3-0 on the Panthers, but freaking lost to Game 7. So that's it. So Canes and Knights are at 3-3. Brett Howden scored to tie the game at 6:10. Sabres up 3-2 on the Jackets in the third period. Ducks leading the Panthers 2-0 in the third period. And many other games are in the second intermission, which we will keep up to date. There's only one game tomorrow, and that's Leafs and Jackets in lovely Columbus. And then 11 games Thursday, 3 games Friday. Yo. So, yeah. So, it's 1-1. Sorry, 2-1 for the Blue Jays. If the Jays win, we go to – it is now a best of 3, meaning that, you have to win twice. And we will see a Blue Jays game in Toronto of World Series Game 6 in Toronto. So that will be guaranteed if the Jays win either tonight or tomorrow. But, I really want the Jays to win tonight so that, tomorrow they have a chance to go up 3-2 and win the World Series on home turf, hopefully. Of course, that's a lot to ask for, but it is what it is. So, yeah, the Blue Jays have got to get their pieces together and all that, as I like to say. Although I also like to say, don't mess with Texas. Actually, no, I don't like to say that because why would I say that? Texas has nothing to do with my streams and all that. Yeah, Blue Jay fans around the world were glued in and all that. The weird thing is I actually got flack at work for not watching the whole game because at our morning huddle, our owner said, well, how long did you stay to watch the game? And I said, well, I watched at 12 o'clock. I had a job to go to. And then he basically says, a real fan would have watched all 6 hours. And I almost struck back with, yeah, well, a real fan doesn't show up on 5 hours sleep and shit the bed. But I didn't say that. I wasn't really afraid to say it, but I think that it wasn't meant to say it. It wasn't the right idea. It wasn't the right time to say it. And all that. So, me. Like everyone at work knows that I just, sometimes just get into my own head and all that. So we'll just leave it at that. Here's Kirk. Whoa, that's a terrible pitch. I think I got to remember, if OHTANI comes out of the game as a pitcher, he can't be DH, right? Because of the fact that, I don't think he can be DH. Yeah, I don't think he can be DH. I don't think they can bring him in at DH, or can they? I keep thinking he can't go back to DHing. Yeah, it's 6 o'clock in Los Angeles, 9 o'clock here. So, Yeah, Alejandro Kirk for a while was the hero for the Blue Jays. Ah, that's a strike. Real skis. Real skis. Bullshit. And he strikes out. I think some of the strike zones are very inconsistent and all that. Despite me being a Leaf fan and all that. Blue Jays fan. I think both sides have been screwed over. Strike. I feel like I have dry eyes for some fucked up reason. So here's Farshall. 1-1 pitch. Wide. So yeah. 3-1. Well, this might be an automatic take by Farshall. See if OHTANI can throw a strike. I don't know why he went for that pitch. That was definitely a ball. OHTANI knows what the frick he's doing. Pitch, swing and a miss from 79. Man, he really took something off of it. And that's another K for OHTANI. Yeah, well, my eyes feel a little itchy and all that. I don't know why. Maybe it won't be that way when the Jays blow this. Kid. Don't worry about it. I take no offense. Like no offense taken. I'm not scared. Yeah, I'm drinking Monster Australian lemonade. Ozzy, oi, oi, oi. I wonder what it tastes like. Oh, it tastes like lemonade, that's for sure. Yeah, 1-1. Swing and strike number 2. I contemplated going to work with drinking a Monster at work, but because I slept for 6 hours and Clement, I think he went. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I thought he swung. Okay. Yeah, I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep particularly well. Like, I think my subconscious was just basically tossing and turning by like 4 a.m, wondering how the Jays did and all that. Like, when I went to my laptop and I saw one of the first things on my Facebook thing saying that, well, the visitors took it to 18 innings but failed in the end. I was like, well, I knew the Jays lost. But it'd be amazing if the Blue Jays win this game. And then it's now best of 3. It's like, it's game on, bitch, as some people would say. So, yeah, I did a couple of MLB top 10 tapings. He strikes out the side, but he's still trailing for now. Yeah, OHTANI's a pretty good pitcher and all that. I'll say that much. I knew it. I'm like, well, the Jays had to have won game 3 to avoid the problems. Vegas has got Carolina's number. Eichel just scored his 8th. Mitch Marner with 10 assists for Vegas. Yeah, I don't want the FanDuel odds and all that. I don't need that. Jackets and Sabres are tied 3-3. Miles Wood did tie the game for Columbus. Where the heck is Cleve Baseball fan when you need him? Anyway, Ducks lead The Panthers 2-1. Lundell scored for the Panthers. Latest goal. Islanders and Bruins. Bruins up 3-2. The latest goal was Essimon for Houston. Tampa scoring a goal. Sigurds Girgensons, proud Latvian, who was it 10 years ago that Latvia tried to send him to the All-Star game and it failed? But yeah, he scored a goal. Jets up 2-1. The latest Minnesota goal was by Kaprizov. Ravens Blues in the first generation 2-1. Cap Stars just starting. Hawks 2 goals already. Goals by Colton the Hawk, Kirby's brother, and Luis Crevier. Senators losing. Ha ha ha. Avalanche already up 2-0 in the first 3:49. As Martin Nekash. Boy, Columbus really feels like Carolina feels they should not have gotten rid of him. Him and Sakar Bardakov scoring. Utah 8-2 against Edmonton 4-4-2. How the frig is Utah 8-2? Flyers win in the shootout, the Leafs winning, and it's going to practically be over for the Canucks. For the Canes, as the Knights look like they're going to win. Yeah, I kind of knew Mitch Marner was going to pull up something called that. Devils started Markstrom against the Avalanche. Well, I mean, if you're going to start someone in their first game back, you might as well go for the jugular and get those big guys and all that. Don't like that move. Yeah, that makes sense. Do I have Marcus Markstrom as one of my injured goalies? I don't remember in any of my fantasy leagues. Yeah, my football pick'em league, I actually did pretty well. I was 9-4. I started off terribly. I was 4-4 for the early games, and then the last 5 games I went El Perfecto, so I'm 9-4, which isn't half that bad, and all that. So, yeah, darkness is fading in Los Angeles now. Of course, daylight savings time gets cut on Saturday. So after 2 a.m. on Sunday, then we go back an hour, which means that people will get an extra hour of sleep and all that. So I have to make sure to set my non-computer clocks. Teoscar to center, but Farsham makes the catch one down. So yeah, so I have to think, well, Baltimore and Miami. I don't know if Lamar is going to be back against Miami or not. I'm not sure. Right. Well, Lamar didn't start against the Bears, and then I switched my pick from Ravens to Bears because Lamar wasn't starting, not knowing that Tyler freaking Huntley was going to produce and Derrick Henry as well, and the Bears just were shit. It is around this time the Bears falter because of what happened against Washington last year. So yeah, Baltimore and Miami. I don't know. I have Baltimore down right now, but I might have to make a change. All that. But yeah, I don't know if Lamar's going to play in that game or not. In Miami. And Miami freaking beat Atlanta. Everyone thought that Miami was dead in the water. But I think they have Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, they have Shedeur Sanders now. I think he's the starter now, not Tua. Yeah, my beloved New England Patriots play Atlanta. I think we can beat those guys. Big strikeout there by Bieber. I think we can beat Atlanta because, 28-3, you may say more. So Cleveland, Jets, Philly, and Tampa are on byes this week. So, yeah. The Pats aren't on bye to the final potential bye week, and that's week 14, unless like Carolina, Giants, and San Francisco. So the Pats play the Falcons this week. Next week, they go to Tampa. I don't expect New England to beat Tampa. And then the week after, they go home. They host the Jets on Thursday Night Football on November 13th. They have to beat the Jets. There's no fucking way they can't beat the Jets. And then on the 23rd, they go to Cincy. Should be able to get Cincy, I hope, unless freaking Burrow comes back. But I think he's not coming back till December. And Thanksgiving week, U.S. Thanksgiving weekend, the Pats host the Giants on Monday Night Football. Should be a Pats win. And then, of course, they get the bye. And then they host Buffalo on December 14th, which is not, I don't know, though, too. Maybe Buffalo gets revenge, probably. And then New England heads to Baltimore December 21st. And then they go to the Jets on the 28th. And they will play the Dolphins to end the season. So yeah, I can't believe it. The Pats are 6-2 and second in the AL in the AFC. Of all teams, it's us. Like, I'm a Stone Cold Patriots fan, but I didn't expect a 6-2 start, especially without Tom Brady and all that. Edmund, well, he'll probably have an automatic take. Oh, yeesh. That was at the top of the zone. The ABS system, the automatic ball system, is going to be really needed by a lot of teams and all that. That was pathetic. Like, that should have been at least a strike. And then, you never know what can happen on the payoff pitch. But yeah, here's Kiki Hernandez. He's the hero in a sense, but the only RBI for the Dodgers today. Way away. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, the Jays. We'll see what happens here. Game 4. I know darn well it's going to be got. I think it's going to be Savage against Blake Snell, right? I think it's a rematch of Game 1. I'm thinking Gossman, but I'm like, no, Gossman didn't start Game 1. Gossman started Game 2. Oh, yeah. Well, the Jays have not really assigned someone to be a starter. Blake Snell is going to pitch Game 5. Deborah Cox sang the Canadian national anthem. Earl Hershiser threw out the ceremony of first pitch. He's good and all that. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, 18 innings. Game 3, 18 innings. Only 4 other postseason games have hit 18 innings. 2005 NLDS Game 4 when the Astros played the Braves. Everyone knows about the whole NLDS Game 4. People forget, Houston with Chris Burke, his home run sent the Astros to the NLCS. But people forget that game was huge because of the fact that the Astros were down 6-1 heading to the 8th inning and managed to score 5 runs. I can't remember who got the home run in the 9th that actually just was above the yellow line and all that. Because it was one hell of a game. Yeah. All that. Yeah, the Braves were up 6-1, and then Lance Berkman hit the grand slam at 6-5, and then Brad Usmus hit the home run that just cleared the yellow line, which is a home run, and then Chris Burke won it. 2014 NLDS Game 2, that was Washington, San Francisco. I remember that game because I didn't watch the start of that game because I was at my niece's 5th birthday party. But yeah, and then, we almost hit $1 million. Yeah, we almost hit midnight on that game. That game started like at 5 o'clock Eastern time, I think. And it almost went to midnight. But Brandon Belt did go deep in the top of the 18 for the Giants to win 2-1. And I believe that's the only time. Is that the only time? I was about to say the only time that a Western, a road team won game in an 18 innings, but I know that's not right. But yeah, that Brandon Belt's home run in the 18th inning, that was big. That was the winning shot. Washington wasn't Washington who had the chance? No, San Fran had a chance to win in the 9th, but someone got thrown out at the plate. 2018 World Series Game 3, Boston, LA. Boston made a couple of critical mistakes. They did have a run in the 10th, but a terrible throw in the 13th, was it? Saw the whole thing go for crap. Kinsler made a terrible error that tied the game. If it wasn't for that error, the Bo Sox would have been up 3-0. Anyway, the 2022 ALDS saw Houston win 1-0. I think it was Jeremy Pena who hit the only home run in that game and all that. But yeah. That's just amazing. 18 innings. There were no runs up to the 7th. Toronto versus LA. Poor Brandon Little. He got blasted. All that. Hideo Nomo throughout the ceremony first pitch. I didn't know that. Otani's throwing lots of things off speed and all that. But yeah, 2022. Yeah, Jeremy Pena. It was 1-0, wasn't it? In the 18th inning. Yeah, Jeremy Pena in the top of the 18th. That's the weird thing because, 5 times there was an 18-inning postseason game, and all 5 had home run. It had an 18th inning home run. Chris Burke to win it for the Astros against the Braves. Brendan Belt for the Giants to take the lead in Washington, which they held on to win. Jeremy Pena in 2022 to hang on against the Mariners. Max Muncy to win Game 3 of the 2018 World Series. And Freddie Freeman, that was a bad job by Jimenez. Blue Jackets and Sabres are in overtime, 3-3. Miles Blue. Yep, so I think that Cleveland baseball fans on his way. Watch out for Cutter. You might try to hand out meat sticks if the Jays win. Zilch might get timed out. No, I'm not gonna time you out on that. IKF flies it to left, looks catchable, is catchable. Yeah, I mean, like I usually buy meat sticks for the guys for Friday when I know that the trucks are going to be impossibly huge and all that. Like if it's like under 2,000 cube, I just don't worry about it. Actually, I might have issue. Oops, Ducks and Panthers are going to overtime 2-2. Sam Reinhart scored late for the Panthers. That's the Ducks. And yes, the Ducks and Panthers are expansion mates. If you must know, the Ducks and Panthers both came in the league in 1993. Well, 93-94. People think that it was like the Ducks and the Lightning or even the Panthers and the Senators. But nope, it's the Ducks and the Panthers. Both 93-94 teams in the expansion bowl. Bruins leading 4-2. That's the only other game in the third period right now. Many of the other games are in the second period or in the first period or haven't even started yet. Yeah, Blue Jays up 2-1. Yeah, I would watch the New York Rangers game against Vancouver, but the fact is that if the Jays are winning, I don't want to turn away. Blue Jackets just scored. Miles Wood, his second goal of the game from Werenski and Lundstrom. That game is over in Buffalo, and those poor, sad sack Buffalo Sabres who have not been to the playoffs since 2011 when Sellers was actually open, have just lost to the Jackets. So the Leafs will play the Blue Jackets. A base hit by Lucas on a 3-1 pitch. Yeah, only one game tomorrow, and that is Toronto-Columbus. You know that for a fact. 11 games Thursday, 3 games Friday. 3 games on Halloween. I don't think the Leafs play. No, the Leafs don't play Halloween. They play Saturday in Philly after playing in Columbus tomorrow. Vladdy, he's the reason why we have a 2-1 game. His 2-run home run. That's his first World Series home run ever, obviously. This is his first time he's in the World Series. And 7th postseason home run, extending his record for most home runs in his postseason by a Blue Jay. Bruins up 4-2. Geeky scoring a power play goal against the Cupcakes. Gotta love it. Tampa leading 2-0 at the period. Brandon Hagel the Bagel with a goal. Jets and Wilder tied 2-2 in the second. Wings lead the Blues 2-1. Caps and Stars are in first intermission. No score. Yep, Ducks and Panthers. Panthers, of course, losing Matthew Tkachuk, Mighty Ice for a few months. And also losing Alex Barkov, their captain, for the entire year due to injury. Everyone thought, well, that was going to be the icing on the cake, and the 2-time defending champs are going to get their butts handed to them. But as of right now, it hasn't happened. 1-2, Flatty to center. Oh, I thought that was going to drop, but nope, it doesn't. So through 4.5, this is an official game now. It's 2-1. SGK beat the Canes. About the Panthers. What's my favorite donut? I'm on a honey cruller kick right now. Because I've been buying honey crullers when I buy my my Tim Hortons ice cap and all that. Well, I've been buying the Tim Hortons hockey cards and all that because those things. I know they're like 3 cards for $1.50 with a drink purchase and all that. Three cards for $1.50. I know I shouldn't really be spending it, but it'd be nice to do that and maybe trade with some fans and all that. So gonna need like a checkpoint and all that. Ducks and Panthers are still tied in overtime, so nothing's changed there. And the tying goal was scored by Maki Samsokovic. Did I say that? I think I did. Yeah, they're showing the montage of the first 5 innings. Was that Megan and Harry at the World Series? The former royal couple, if you will. Oh, there's Brad Pitt from Moneyball. I think that's Brad Pitt. Probably not. That looks like Brad Pitt from Moneyball. Yeah, it is Harry and Meghan. They're just showing them right now on the Sportsnet feed. Couple pricks, you should be cheering for the Blue Jays because Canada is part of the British Empire, but of course the whole thing with Meghan Markle. The more I look at it, the more maybe Meghan Markle is hurt by she's hurt by the royal family, but she's not doing herself favors by just being a massive what. I mean, it's harder and harder to cheer for Meghan and Harry in any sense of the word. If they're pulling up stuff like that. Farland, the guy who can throw 100 miles per hour, he's in the pen. He was used early yesterday, so obviously he'll be the more warmed up guy. Bieber will probably go 5. I have a funny feeling they'll probably take Bieber for 5 and then they take him out. So that's what I think too. Now this is another 88 hat, right? Oh yeah, I took out the hook. Yeah, but Blue Jays have to play smart and all that. OHTANI-san is on deck, so and Padges has been hitting terribly this postseason. Not even the Mendoza line is 200, or in layman's terms, 1 hit out of every 5 times at the plate. Yeah. The best hitters go 3 out of 10. At the plate. I know that I got to do it for Silch's benefit because he's not really into baseball. So, in all honesty, it's actually hard for me to dumb down in a sense because I know what I'm doing when I'm doing that. Fly ball the right, Barger makes the catch, 1 down. So I can try to explain sports to non-sports people, but I get flustered because they don't know. It's all along. I try to explain myself. I can't explain myself to save my own butt. My boss will tell you that much at work. Otani has hit 3 home runs this postseason, this series. Well, this World Series. 2 of them yesterday. Looks like Ducks and Panthers are going to a shootout. Bruins look like they're going to keep things going against the Islanders and win well. It's not over yet. Bruins and Isles and all that. Yeah. Ooh. He swung and missed, and then it hit his trailing leg. That's a bit of an awkward. That's awkward. But Otani's a superstar and all that. Like, Otani had Tommy John surgery. It limited him. He couldn't pitch, but he could still hit. Honestly, I thought the rotator cuff would be needed for hitting as much. 2-1. No, sorry, 0-1. 2-1's the score. I got to keep my focus. Yeah, so the Ducks and Panthers are going to a shootout to decide points. I don't really care. Hikers are awesome. Professional channel. If you can, that'd be nice. Like, Silch, if you could do that for me, I'll be cool. Yeah, 100 Crows are awesome. I go try to get some to them. I bet they'll be out of them. This is one of those nights. I don't know. Oh wow, he struck out Otani for the second time. Boy, oh boy, that's great. On Fridays, if at all. Yeah, I know. Because, Fridays are the big trucks and all that at work. Yeah. The knuckle curve. Beautiful. Nice play and all that. It's a curve ball, but like the ball will rotate like a knuckle ball. Like it'll dance around like a knuckler. Word will do. Okay, I want to see his work and all that. Mookie the center, Varsho only has to take a few steps. So Bieber's got 5 innings, so he has the win if the game ends this way. So if the Blue Jays do end up winning 2-1, or logically, if the Jays score but the Dodgers can't, Bieber will be in line for the W because he's hit the 5-inning mark. Something Scherzer didn't do last time. I think the Dodgers probably would have won the game even if Scherzer went 5 innings. So, yeah. Yeah, it would be nice to see 2-2, and then Game 5 is basically, well, someone's got to do it. And then Game 6 in Toronto, no matter what. It's going to be lit. And it's going to be on Halloween, too. So, yeah, I can't wait for Halloween in essence. I don't know what my Halloween... Well, I guess the Blue Jays will be kind of my costume and all that. Yeah, I think, well, the Blue Jays have to be my costume if they win tonight or tomorrow because, Game 6 will be on Halloween. I'll probably be wearing my Blue Jays gear and all that. Yeah, I hate these Ontario commercials. Protect Ontario, Ring of Fire. They're basically mining Northern Ontario so that they can build Southern Ontario. I mean, there's a limit to everything. I'll say that much. Like, Northern Ontario is good and all that. I like them. But the problem is that, 90% of Ontarians live in Southern Ontario, or like 100 miles. 90% of people in Ontario live 100 kilometers from the border. From the U.S. border. But the fact, or no, that's just in Canada in general, I guess. But yeah, like Northern Ontario gets a massive hose job. They get very cold weather. They get a lot of forest fires. They get, a lot of disrespect with culture and all that, especially the First Nations tribes up north. They are getting a lot of disinterest and all that compared to, First Nations, unfortunately, are getting a lot of plight and all that from the white guys, like yours truly. So, Oh, I've just been informed that the Panthers' second goal to tie the game is Sam Reinhart's goal. Anyway, yeah, $4 million for the 50-50 draw, but you have to be in Ontario or Nova Scotia. Kind of pathetic. Why would you like say that? That commercial should not be on it nationally, because I mean, like, you got 2 provinces out of 10 that are eligible for that competition, and if this is national based, I can't believe the Dodgers only have 2 hits through 5 innings. That doesn't sound right. Here's really with OHTANI pitching. Yeah, OHTANI pitched. Oh, he pitched 6 innings last game. That's right. I was thinking, oh, he pitched a complete game last time. No, he didn't against Milwaukee. Bobo is on point. Why did he swing at that one? That was nowhere near the strike zone. Jeez. The Jays have to really show some patience against Ohtani-san, I think. He didn't take that one. Thank goodness for that. Yeah, doing a couple of blue. Oh, geez. I've been so busy with that. I've forgotten about my video editing or all that. Well, actually, those 2 are going to be. I'm not too panicky though, because the videos. Okay, so that one's got to go. That one's got to go up. We'll go with that one up. That's 177. Do I want Simpsons deep dive? Or no, or not? We'll just settle that later. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. Oh no, that can't be right. Hold on. No, it's this one. And then that one. Okay, yeah. 4 videos, 2.2 gigs. Ducks and Panthers in a shootout. 1-0. Well, obviously it's 1-0. Bruins leading 4-2 late in the 3rd period. So it looks like the Bruins are going to win this game. The shot didn't take that one. So, yeah. It's kind of awe-striking because, Game 4 almost had no stream. Bichette, deep drive left. Oh, nope. That's going to die. Churro. We have some churro stuff at Canadian Tire. Although it's on clearance. Basset Hound is on the mound. I think they're pulling Bieber after 5, I think. Or what I would do is if Bieber starts to get in trouble, then you yank him right off the bat. Yeah, you yank him off the bat. You yank him right away and put someone in. Yeah, Bassett was a main starter for the Jays, but, he got hurt, and then the Jays had to pick up both Scherzer and Bieber in the trade deadline. OHTANI, oh, he's got him. Don't bother running, Barger. OHTANI's got you beat. Oh, Bruins just scored. Fraser Minton. Naughty kittens, you lost your mittens. Now you get no pie. So, yeah, Dodgers up 2-1. The Blue Jays up 2-1. What am I thinking? There's Alejandro. Yeah, OHTANI's throwing a lot of pitches. I wonder if the Dodgers are going to have anyone in their bullpen. I haven't seen a Dodger in the bullpen. Yeah, I mean, OHTANI's throwing over 80 pitches. I think you might have. I'm thinking if you're the Dodgers, just get rid of him after 6 innings because, he's throwing a lot of pitches. You still need his bat in the lineup. Ooh, that was a dancing queen ball. Yeah, Lightning Predators are in intermission. Red Wings are crushing the Blues 4-1. Good for them. 1-0 pitch. Yep. That's a ball. Yep. Yeah, the NHL, all 32 teams are playing 16 games. They decided to stagger. That's the word. Stagger everything from 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock, like every 15, 30-minute intervals. The Leafs game was supposed to be at 6:30 tonight, but because of the Blue Jays, they moved the game to 6. The Raptors game is half an hour earlier tomorrow to let fans watch Game 5 from the Scotiabank Center. I mean, I know the Rogers Center is having a watch party that you get $15. For $15, you get to watch the game, and it goes to a children's charity and all that. 2-2. Flails at it. OHTANI gets the big strikeout there, his 6th. 6 strikeouts in 6 innings. Well, OHTANI has pitched well, like I suspected. but he is trailing 2-1. But he might be back. Yeah, I think I can't remember the rule. If he comes out of the game a pitcher, that means that the pitcher spot stays where it is, and then I think they just go for pinch hitters and all that, right? I think. Or oh no, he can go back to DHing. I guess he can. Yeah, I think he can. I think there was some kind of situation in out of the park baseball with Babe Ruth pitching for the Yankees legends that once he got taken out of the game for the pitcher, he could go to be DH, and then the pitcher spot didn't have to come up in the rotation in the batting thing. Well, I don't know. Well, that right. So Bieber's still on the mound against Freeman, like I thought. Bieber's going to pitch until he gets in trouble, and then at the first sign of trouble, you get Bassett. So, yeah. So, yeah, the Blue Jays are trying everything in their power to. Off of Flighty. That was not a good start. That was definitely not a good start. So, yeah, that was just unfortunate. That was so unfortunate. That was so unfortunate. Oh, they're letting him pitch to Will Smith. And Marshall makes the catch. Phew. Thank goodness for that. Boy, oh boy. You don't know how much nerves I have. This whole grand scheme of things. So, yeah. It takes balls of steel. Now, is he going to be taken out? Oh, they're letting him in? They're letting him pitch to Teoscar. Ooh, I don't know. Teoscar is a pretty streaky hitter. I know he's over 2, but anything can happen. And it is Teoscar. I don't know. I just don't know if that was the smart strategy in the fucking world. I just don't know. I just don't know. Personally, and they said, I thought so. I told you. I was like, should not have done that. Yep, now you got to get rid of him. Now get rid of him. Now you got to get rid of him. That's what I thought. You have to. You have to do it. You have to do it. Bieber did it good, but Teoscar is a good hitter. So I thought that was kind of a dumb move to let him stay in. Because Teoscar is a decent hitter. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, with Teoscar Hernandez, I think you have to take him out. You have to basically walk away. So love me some me. That's what the old saying goes. Love me some me. So wait. Oh no, that's different. That's different. Okay. Yeah, I know. I got my mind set on a lot of things. So, you know me. Read it for him. I don't know, but I know that it's true. Take that. Delete it. Ooh, 155. Okay. The center, Farshall makes the catch. Okay. That's what you do. All right. Where the Cookie Monster? Oh, you don't know. I have lots of other cookies, boss. I have birthday cake Oreos. I have what other Oreos do I have? Yeah, that's Bassett, right? I've been so busy trying to edit things, I forgot to I have to look up at my big screen. Fluharty. Oh, they went with the lefty. Okay. I was about to say, well, Bassett's there. Oh, no, Bassett. No. Let's see. Okay. So birthday cake. Oh, I ate the other one. Okay. I have two full things of Oreos left. I have the birthday cake Oreos and the golden Oreos and all that. I had the Quebec maple. Sorry about that. Yeah, I didn't forget. Anyway, O2. Swing in a mess. We get out of the mess. Jays get out of the mess. Whew. Thank goodness for that. All right. Why have they not updated the Ducks and Panthers in the shootout? Like they have so high. Yeah, like who won the shootout? Ducks or Panthers? They must have had a giant hiccup. Bruins beat the Cupcakes, so that's good news. So hide. Did I push the wrong button? Yeah, hide those damn things. Yeah, for some effed up reason, the Ducks Panthers thing is still like going on. Like we should be done by now. Lightning lead the Predators 2-1. Luke Evangelista with the goal. I don't think Luke is affiliated with Linda Evangelista. Brock Faber, the guy with the glasses, the Clark Kent glasses. Well, he doesn't have them on the ice. Yeah, the shootout. Yeah, Anaheim won in the shootout. Why are they not freaking telling us Anaheim won the shootout? You know, I don't think Luke Evangelista is related to Linda. Because, you know, Linda Evangelista. I'll search for Linda. Oh, yeah, second cousin to Linda Evangelista, who was one of the best Canadian supermodels of all time. Yeah, he's second cousins with her. I knew that name was her. Which was the Canadian things and all that. It was known for the phrase, "We don't wake up for less than $10,000 a day." So she was one of the big five supermodels with Christine Turlington, Naomi Campbell, Claudia Schiffer, and Cindy Crawford. I think Turlington was American, Crawford was American, Naomi Campbell was Brit, and Claudia Schiffer was Deutsch or Germany. She was voted as the greatest supermodel of all time. Christine Turlington, yes, from America. Naomi Campbell from Brit. Claudia Schiffer from Germany, and Cindy Crawford from America. I think they're all alive. Those five women are. Yep, all five of them are alive. Where's an etiquette? Yeah, she had a cultural impact. Because the comment, $10,000 a day. You don't get out of bed for $10,000, less than $10,000 a day. Varsho to right field, dips in base hit, and Teoscar will cut that down. There you go. There we go. Now they got the shootout thing, Ducks over the Panthers. So that means they should be cutting the, on NHL.com, they should be putting that down. Lightning up 2-1 on the Predators. Cats and Wilder in second intermission. Red Wings 4-1 on the Blues. Stars just scored a goal in the second period. Tyler Seguin. Blackhawks 4-1 against the Senators. Senators finally scoring a goal. Avalanche up 2-0 on the Devil Dogs. Mammoth scored a goal. Logan Cooley. Not Will Cooley, but Logan Cooley. Rangers Canucks. Can't believe Taylor Radish leads the team in goals. Okay, there we go. NHL.com's fixed their thing. And now Lightning Predators is the first game. Clement to left field. Back and double off the wall. Marshall is going to stay at third. That's a smart thing to do, especially with no outs. Second and third, no outs. We're putting on OHTANI. Well, looks like I was wrong. We got second and third. If the Jays can just put up a few more runs, we should be fine. We're in the seventh. It's 2 hours. Yep. So it's the 3 innings per hour rule in effect. Man, this will be one heck of a game. Well, Ohtani's going to be yanked. You have to yank him. He pitched well, 90 pitches, but the Blue Jays finally are getting to him. He's getting tired. He is getting very, very tired. I mean, the fans will give him a standing ovation and all that. So, is that Joe Kelly? That can't be Joe Kelly. The one with the sport goggles. I was thinking of some. Oh, I hate that so much. You're thinking, okay, well, I got to check something. And then you forgot what you're going to check. Isn't that just plain dumb? Like, it's like, oh, you got to check something out. Oh, wait a minute. What are you looking for? Oh, yeah. Oh, I know what I was doing. That's what I'm doing. So Anthony Banda is coming in. Banda of Thieves. Stephen Fogels, 41 years old. One of my Facebook friends. The New York Rangers people call him a stalker because he stalks these prospects like the World Juniors and all of that at his age. Well, anyway, the Lightning lead the Predators 2-1. Jets and Wild are headed to the third period. Yep, Jays are up 2-1. Runners on second and third with no outs. And it looks like Jimenez. Yep, that's right, it's 0. If he can just lift one to the outfield, we should be able to score a run. He's due for 15. He had a pair of home runs against Seattle, and everyone was shocked at how good he can get the home run ball. But we'll see. The 0-2, another one. Doesn't bite. 1 ball, 1 strike. So the Blue Jays, well, this would be a dilemma for me because, like, you know, they're 2-1 in the World Series when I stream, 0-1 when I don't. But given, like, I can't blame myself being out in the public for game 3 as them losing. They were up twice, so it wasn't like the Blue Jays lost every time. We're not winning at all, but they were winning a couple times yesterday. 1-2 to the gem. No, sir, didn't go for it. So, yeah, if the Blue Jays can do something with runners in scoring position, now's the time. Scoops away, and nice job putting the ball in front of him by Will Smith. The catcher made sure that the ball was in front of him, meaning that you definitely can't have the guys try to steal the bases and all that. Yep, Will, the perfect. That was a good deflection up to the pitcher, and then the runners stay where they are. So that's the plan. Ooh. What was that about? Yeah, someone to the upper deck. I don't know if he can hit the upper deck. And Kyle Falefa is up. That was in the strike zone, but the good news is he fouled it off. That's the smart thing to do, is to foul it off. Because if you can keep fouling off pitches, then that means the pitchers have to put more emphasis on their arms and all that. And that sometimes doesn't work. He loops it, foul. So Banda has to try to get rid of this guy. Yeah. I'm actually surprised about the Dodgers not putting Clayton Kershaw as a starter because, you want Clayton Kershaw to have a Hollywood ending. Flails it. That'll drop. One will score, and I think that'll be it. Nope. Smart play by the Blue Jays. Just advance the runner to the third. Jimenez with a nice looping single. It's now 3-1 Blue Jays. Keep making stuff up. That actually worked, buddy. It actually worked. So the gem with a line shot. He knew what he was doing. So anyway. So 3-1 Blue Jays. Pitch on the way. He squares the bunt, pulls it back. If the bat does not go through the strike zone, then you pull it back, then it's a ball. He's 0 for 10. I mean, honestly, I would have put Bichette at second base instead of IKF, but because Springer is hurt, or at least game 4. Nope, he's going to pretend to bunt. I mean, if he can get a sacrifice hit to score a run, that does count, in a sense, as an RBI. Dave Roberts of the Dodgers, who's been the manager for freaking ever, 10 years? I think Don Mattingly was the last guy. Ball 3. So I think he's going to take the next pitch and see if Banda does give him a strike. He probably will, and then we'll see what the next pitch comes up with. Banda's floating and all that. Yeah, IKF decides to swing at that one. It would have been a strike as is. So 3 balls, 1 strike. And Lucas on deck. I was at Springer, but technically I'm wrong. Anyway, 3-1 is the pitch. 3-1 is the count, and 3-1 is the score. Blue Jays win. It'll be a best of 3 now. And then it's basically the last 3 games, whoever wins 2 gets it. So 2-2. The Blue Jays have never been to a World Series for 2-2 in their history. That's the best they can do. He swings and grounds to third. Oh, man, a double play. So he caught the ball and gets the runner off first base. So that is a blown opportunity. Because if it's just the 1 out, fair, and Lucas has a chance to have a sac fly and to score. Oh, they might challenge. They might as well challenge. They're doing that. That means they will challenge the call. They're challenging to see if he was, he caught the ball, but did he get back to first base in time? I think he did. I think Jimenez got back to first base. And yeah, I think he did. Tie goes to the runner, right? Yep. Yes. Oh, yes. The ball was not in his glove. It was not in the webbing of his glove. That is definitely a safe call. And that means that there's 1 out instead of 2. And it will be a sac fly opportunity for Lucas. He was safe before he was out. The ball was caught, fair. Okay, that's the out. And then yeah, he definitely, look at the hand. Oh yes. The ball was definitely not in Freeman's glove. That is going to be overturned, and that is going to be a safe call. And Jimenez will be back at first base. It'll be first and third with 1 out instead of runner on third and 2 outs. Yeah, he definitely beat it up. Muncy caught the ball cleanly. That's for sure. Yeah, that's definitely an out. That's definitely an out. What are they looking at? He got the hand and hit the base before Freeman even had the ball in his glove. So I think he's safe at first. That means that the Dodgers will only have 1 out instead of 2. But I mean, 1 out's, well, that's the best solution for the Blue Jays is 1 out. I need more of these. I have 2. Open and shut. Open and shut. Lift the fingers. Oh, yeah. No question. No question. He's safe. Yep, he's safe. So he goes back to first. First and third, 1 out. And the challenge, Toronto doesn't lose that challenge. Converted successfully. Okay. So next break in the action will be me uploading 4 videos. 4, right? Yeah. Me uploading 4 videos, 2.2 gigs worth of action. So NHL 94, the NHL Legends that grace teams are out. Round 16 TV matches, Stone Cold Hockey 83-84 Oilers Part 2. The top 10 Canadian MLB players of all time. That will be up, and PC Replay Baseball Franchise Tourney will be up because OTP will be tomorrow and Thursday. So, yeah, it'll be about half an hour each day. So, anyway, yeah. Like game 1 tomorrow between Philly and Oakland, that's going to be basic. Ty Francis coming up to hit for Lucas. I'm actually surprised. I would have capped Lucas in the game. Francis is the leadoff guy. Yeah, that's the 1 hole. That was Lucas's spot. I would have put France in at DH instead of Bichette. But yeah, I wonder what they're up to with Ty France. Chopper. That definitely is not going to be. Yeah, that's not a double play. Run scores, RBI ground out. That works. That will work. It's 4-1. So, yeah. So, looking okay. So now Flatty is coming to the plate. So the Blue Jays are up 4-1, runner on second and 2 outs. So if Flatty can get a good hit, then the Blue Jays have a 4. Did he face 3 batters? Yes, he did. Okay. Because the rules are you have to face 3 batters before you can replace a pitcher. Okay, so all right. So that is going to be the TV timeout I need. Top 10 greatest World Series moments. Do I have a thing? Yeah, Jaguar Gators doing game 4 highlights too. I wonder how many. Nah. Yeah. Creating videos is not always the best thing because you got to make sure that you get yourself set up, everything. Yeah, Tony pitched a good game, but in the end, those runs caught up with him. Both the runs scored in the they've just intentionally walked Flatty. Yep. So they said no, we're not pitching to this guy. Blake Trinan, he is decent. So yeah, so Blake Trinan, if he wins, yeah, if the Blue Jays can just finish this off. Pitch on the way to Bichette, strike one. Yeah, they said no way we're going to allow. Bichette to left field, sends him the wrong way. This will bounce. That's an RBI for sure. It's 5-1, and the Blue Jays are going to be smart. And Bichette with a looping single to make it 5-1 Blue Jays. Wow. Wow. Oh, that's what I was looking for. So the playlist is created. 5-1 Blue Jays. Now here's the Honey Barger. If Barger can just get a single up the middle, yes, that's it. 6-1. Blue Jays can just trot in. Wow. Wow, indeed. Wow, indeed. Wow, indeed. So second, 3. So wait a minute, strike one. And that one. Yeah. Five on the right. Nice catch. But the Blue Jays put not one, not two, but 4 on the board. It's 6-1. So Well, Bo Bichette. There's his bat. There's the bat we needed. And now we got this chance to tie the series up and force a game 6 guaranteed. Excuse me. Just sneezing a little bit. I am just going to deafen for a little bit. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. There is a they're going with call. They're going to call to Mr. Call. I guess because Andy Padgett has been nothing but crap, not just in the World Series, but in the postseason. I mean, how do you keep this guy in? Like, I know he's a 30 home run guy. That's probably why Padgett has been getting the starts and all that. But Alex Call's 4 for 7. He's decent. I mean, I don't think he plays the outfield, or does he? Alex Call does, because I know that if he does play the outfield, then you might put him in. He is an outfielder. He is an outfielder. I'll be honest with you. I think they're going to put a call in to start game 5. I would probably figure they would, given how where's Bill? Yeah. Like, I think Alex Call is going to probably be coming in to start in the outfield right now. I think they have to do that in essence because, like, Hodges has been nothing. Oh, big strikeout by the Basset Hound. Beautiful strikeout. Beautiful. So, yeah. So, the way I look at it right now is as long as the Jays don't do anything dumb, then the Blue Jays are going to be, it's 2-2, and we will have game 6 on Halloween night. Well, good thing the sun sets like at 6:30 at night. Give the little guys 90 minutes to trick and treat and then come for the baseball game. Scoot. Oh, swing and a miss. Yep, I guess OHTANI can go from pitcher to DH. I guess so. Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. Because it's like, well, he's the pitcher. He should be out. It should be the pitcher spot. But OHTANI can go from pitcher to DH. All that. I guess. Pitcher in the way. Do I need a chopper? Oh, yeah. Well, we finally got OHTANI out this time. Big job by Bassett. Well, he is pitching like he wants everything to happen to him. Sure, he's not really a starter, but give him a chance. Okay, I got a different. All right, so it's still 6-1. The Lightning beat the Preds today 5-2. So good news for Tampa fans. Like even Farhood, good old Ethan, his team won. Leafs won, so I'm happy as can be. I know the Rangers play the Canucks right now. Wish I could watch that game. I don't want to like ruin the Blue Jay vibes by turning off the game right now. So Dodgers go back to the pen, and it will be Jack Dreyer up 51. Wonder why they have 51 on their caps. But anyway, here is pitch to Farshow, and he'll take a strike in the zone. Alex Call is playing left field. He's playing the outfield. Kiki will play center, so Patches is gone. Figures much. Farshow pops up. I probably think Alex Call is going to come in. Yeah, I think Alex Call is going to come in and play the outfield from now on, I guess. Patches has gone nothing. And now it's Ernie Clement. Blue Jays are up 6-1. And yes, I will pull some NBA cards at the butt end of the stream. So, like they're all good players and all that. I actually took out the crappy players in my basketball cards. And then this strike there. Because I wasn't sure if I was going to be streaming game 4 or 5 for you. But yeah, it is right now 6-1 Blue Jays. Clement fouls it off. Clement doubled and scored. Six one. Oh, I think he went around. Oh, he didn't. Oh, okay. I was like, oh, he walked. I'm like, you, dum, you what? You went around. He spun. I didn't. One, two. He swings it. Nice dive. Ooh, but he cannot get across. Clement hustling down the line. Even though they're up by 5, we got to hustle. And he's proving it. He's proving that the Jays are not going to rest on their 6-1 laurels. Remember, we botched 6-1 against the Yankees in Game 3 of the first round. Well, the LDS, excuse me. That's not technically the first round. The wild card was the first round. Freeman. Yep. Nice hustle down the line by Clement. They both almost collided with each other. But in the end, it was a single by Clement. No fault to Freeman. I mean, Clement was hustling down the line. If he wasn't, that definitely would have been an error. I plunk. Ahoka. Why would you plunk him? If you're going to plunk somebody, plunk Flatty. Well, IKF is coming in. I know football. I kind of do know football. So 6-1 Blue Jays. Why do I have that? Well, it's painful, but he's okay. Yeah, I think if the Blue Jays score a few more runs, we'll probably have the bench come out and just do something about it because, you want to finish this game off as fast as you can. It's 10:34 Eastern Time PM and 7:34 Pacific. Kiner Falefa has been nothing in this series at all. Oh, that curveball got away from him. Thankfully, he caught the ball because if he didn't, that would have sent the runners up to second and third. It probably would have been a wild pitch. Ball, this could be double play. Nope, Clement was hustling, so he had only one play. That was the first. Okay. Well, here comes Turkey in the straw. So, yeah. So I guess they're sending like all these players up. Oh yeah, Straw came to play left field. Yeah, I guess they've had France to pinch hit, and then they put Straw in left field because that was Lucas's spot in left field. So Straw is 2 for 15 in the postseason. Does have an RBI though, so that's good news. They're meeting on the mound. Straw's not really a good hitter, but if any time you need a hit, he's got to be it. Because if you don't get the hit, then the Dodgers still have a chance. I mean, if you can get a long single or a double, then it's 8-1 Blue Jays, and it's almost all but impossible for the Dodgers to pull one out of the hat. Dodgers could still score runs, but scoring 7 runs in the final 2 innings is almost a big ask. So Miles Straw, a big hit, a long hit could make it 8-1. Strike. So we'll see what ends up happening here. Pitch. Nope. That was a strike. It was a strike anyway, so no complaints from Straw. Jerking the straw. So, yeah. I'm actually surprised at this result, to be honest with you. I thought this was going to be basically game over for the Blue Jays. To win game 3 against Glasnow would have been huge. But the way it is now, like we took care of OHTANI and all that, especially in the 7th when, those 2 big hits off OHTANI and then they had to yank him. We got into the Dodgers bullpen and all that. So that's the big thing for the Blue Jays. Yep, Blue Jay fans all around the world are trying to see if the Jays can win this game and at least force one back in Toronto in game 6. He swung and missed. Brutal miss by Straw. Why would you swing at that pitch? But nevertheless, okay, it's time to deafen. Okay, Boston's back on the mound. Okay. So bottom of the 8th, Blue Jays up 6-1. Hopefully they could just get these 6 outs. They really need these 6 outs. Because if they can get the 6 outs, we got ourselves a game 6. For sure. Pitch on the way. Ball. Yep. For the Blue Jays, if all goes well, they will be 2-2. The other 2 World Series appearances, the Jays have not been at 2-2. They were actually up 3-1 on both the Braves and the Phillies. Lost game 5 in both, but won game 6 in both. Betts will, just snuck it over the Gem's head, Jimenez's head. Just snuck through. Well, don't worry about it. I mean, that was a good hit. If Bassett can just get those key outs. And about a few feet. A few feet taller, Andres. A few feet. Here's Freeman to the plate. Now the question is, do you walk him? Because I can't remember who's next. I think Teoscar's next. Strike. So yeah, pair of singles for Freeman today. The series 1 home run. Well, we all know what that home run implied. That's for sure. All right, 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Okay, Bassett. If I'm Bassett right now, Farland is warming up in the pen. But they'll probably put Hoffman. They'll probably warm Hoffman up if the Jays have to go to a safe situation, I think. I think that's the plan. Or basically just give Bassett one more batter. I don't know. Wow, swing and a miss on Freeman. That's a brutal strikeout by Bassett. Beautiful. So Bassett will pitch to Smith. Now, who's 0 for 3? I thought Teoscar was the cleanup guy. Guess not. So let's see what happens here. Yep. Hopefully he'll sleep better tonight. I'll have an extra hour of sleep, I think, because this game should be over by 11. Oh, 1. In on him, but doesn't hit him. Thank goodness for that. Ball 1. You can go inside on somebody, but you can't hit them. That would be wrong. Blue Jays fans, yep. Obviously, the camera angles, if you watch on Sportsnet, are different than Fox. 72, nice curveball. And Smith got fooled. So this is big. One, 2. Yep. Prayer sometimes works. Prayer doesn't work sometimes, but more often than it does. 6-1 Blue Jays. Ground ball is short. 1, 2. Yes, sir. 6-4-3. Money in the bank. Catching. Big double play. 6-1 through 8. Yeah. All right. So let's just check the NHL. I don't know if they'll put Bassett in. I think if I remember right, if Bassett pitches 3 scoreless innings, despite it not being a safe situation, up, shaking his hand, he would have had the safe. It would be a save. Stars 1 goal against the Caps. Sagan's third. Blackhawks 4-3 on the Senators. Hawks were up 4-0, but Stützle made it 4-3. Avalanche up 6-4 to World's Worst Gamers chagrin. Man, what a game. 6-4. 10 goals already. Mammoth leading the Oilers 3-2. Rangers up 1-0. DJ Mika. His goal, his fourth from Kool-Aid and Fox have made it 1-0, and he's now tied with Taylor Radish for the goal scoring lead. Flyers beat the Penguins in the shootout. And a dry looping single by Flatty. Leafs 4-3 over the Flames. And bad news, John Tavares did not get number 500 tonight. Canes lose in the night 6-3. Jackets in overtime. Ducks beat the Panthers in shootout. Bruins win 5-2. Lightning 5-2. Jets win in overtime. Overtime heroics by Kyle Kana from Shifley and Morrissey makes it 4-3 Jets. And that will be the end of that one. So we have a few games going on right now. We are in the 9th, so I'll give you one more NHL update afterwards. Did my stuff make it through? Oh, my uploads are in. My uploads are done. My uploads are done in the oven. Alrighty. Pitch on the way up there. Chin music on Bo Bichette. Farland is throwing the pen. That's it. So Bichette's there. Farland will probably pitch, and if they need a safe situation, then it's Hoffman. Pitch in the way. Inside on him, 2+1 strike. Yeah, Bo Bichette. A lot of people were shocked that he was actually healthy enough to play in the World Series after nearly making the LCS roster, but just coming up short. And a fall. Blue Jays going with 14 batters, 12 pitchers, 26-man roster for the postseason. The Dodgers don't have Vesia. He has a family emergency. But the good news is that the Dodgers have kind of not needed him. In a sense, Vesia probably would have been the hero in Game 3 by my guess. Bichette doesn't take all 3. So we'll set up we'll throw some baseball, we'll throw some basketball cards and all that. And just a reminder, Game 5 will probably not be streamed. I probably won't stream it because I'll probably be over at a friend's house. Bichette, ground ball. Oh, he botched it. Yep, that was fair. It was touched fair, so Freeman thought it was be foul, but nope, it stayed fair. So he has to tag Bichette, and the runner moves to second. That's the way it goes, buddy. I don't blame Freeman for that play at all. Blue Jays are trying to ice this game right here, right now. Here's Barger. Swing and a miss on that one. Oh, I shouldn't be so dramatic. That's a Blue Jay who's won the miss. Sorry. Oops, I guess I've lost my last audience member. Oh, well. All right, 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Well, at least this game will be a lot faster than yesterday. I mean, 9 innings in 3 hours and a few minutes, if everything was according to plan. It was 10 innings for 4 hours. So, that's the way it goes. Pitch. Oops, he got in the strike zone. Barger is unhappy, but what can you do? Well, that was a good pitch, I'll say that much. Yes, 6-1. Yeah, like I said, there are a couple Blue Jay caps in the background, behind home plate and all that, the behind home plate camera. What are they doing? They're intentionally walking Alejandro to get the first show? I don't know. Kind of seems like an awkward situation. Kirk, I don't think has really done that much today. So personally, I think that it's a bad move. I know I should be talking, but whatever. Pitch. Swing and a miss by Farshall, strike one. So yeah, the Blue Jays. Well, this looks good. It looks like we got Game 5, ending at 2-2 and all that. This will be the first time in 3 years that the World Series has been 2-2. Yeah, 2022 was the last time it was 2-2. Because Texas won in 5 in 23, and last year the Dodgers won in 5. So that means that for the first time in 3 years, we will have a series at 2-2. Or in layman's terms, the first time that whoever loses the World Series will lose multiple games in 3 years. Because, Arizona only won once in 2023. The Yankees only won one game last year. So we're going to see a 6-game series for the first time in 3 years. The last time there was a Game 7 was 2019. First show. Strike 3. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, Blue Jays, they just have to keep their foot, down defensively. Farland is definitely coming in. Well, this is it. Farland on the bump, number 77. If the Blue Jays can just get 3 key outs, we are going to a Game 6 on Halloween night. Stars lead the Capitals 1-0. Sagan with a goal. Blackhawks 4-3 on the Senators. The Blackhawks are up. We're up 4-0. Avalanche Devils, it looks like it's 6-4. Going to be after 2 periods. Oilers have tied it up. Crazy game. Logan Cooley scored for Utah, and then it was J.J. Peterka, Ekholm for Edmonton, and Isaac Howard, Barrett Hayden, and now Draisaitl ties it at 3. Rangers up 1-0. Habs and Kraken. Ooh, that's a little bit of bad luck. Why would you do that? Kings and Sharks are coming up shortly. So, yeah, just going to finish this up, and then we will do the basketball cards, and then that'll be it. I will officially cut the stream. Technically, you're supposed to finish this drink and all that. I might get more Aussie lemonade. I know I drink the mango ones too. I like the ones with flavors that you. Hey, Oscar. Well, Farland's going to have to throw a strike. Yep, 99 miles per hour, and the pitch ain't one. Hit. Blue Jays fans were thinking, well, that 18 inning loss was huge. My question, of course, is if the Blue Jays had won that 18 inning, won the game yesterday to make it 2-2, how do you think they may have gotten the momentum to go up 3-2, 3-1? 2-1, and then 3-1. Yeah, take down OHTANI son, shock the world. Well, that's all right. It's not a safe situation yet, so I'm not too panicky yet. Muncie's coming up. Just get rid of him, and everything will be okay. Teoscar is a good runner, so I don't think the Dodgers will pinch run for him. Yeah, a whole lot different than last night. All that. Muncie does have a home run. Yeah, it was in Toronto. Muncie the right field. Damn it. That's going to be a double. Teoscar is going to stay at third. So Muncie to the wall, second and third. Now, I think it's a safe situation now. It technically is. So Hoffman's going to warm up. Edmonds coming to the plate. Oh, boy. Well, I'm a little nervous. Yeah, that pitch was in his wheelhouse. That was definitely in his wheelhouse. Second and third. Yep, Hoffman's going to warm up because it is a safe situation. He is our closer. This looks bad. Well, Pete Walker's going to the mound. He's the pitching coach. You know, with the handlebar mustache. So you know that's the manager, John Schneider. So you gotta get him. Those 2 runs are inconsequential. Like, you know, you can let those 2 runs score at 6-3, but as long as you get outs in exchange for runs, then technically it could work out. I mean, in essence, Blue Jays score. In essence, if you can get the outs, let the runs score, and then you have a 2-out situation. OHTANI is up. Well, Evans the 7-hole hitter. And then comes Hockey Pucks. I don't remember who number 8 is. Then comes Kiki. Then comes Call. Then comes OHTANI. Yeah. So you gotta get a couple key outs here. Oh, nice block by Kirk. Well, Blue Jays know they got to keep their foot on the pedal. Because if you put your foot off the pedal, that's not going to work. Well, the Blue Jays don't have the best bullpen in the world, but, they've been decent. Strike 2 on that one. Yeah, if I were the Blue Jays, I'd just say, well, you get the outs. If it costs you a run, it costs you a run, but you can get the outs because then you're closer to winning the game. Ground ball to third, just get the out. Whew, that was close. That's what I thought. Well, that's what I was anticipating. Like, just get the out, just get the out, just get the out. So they got the out. Run score is fine, but you got the out. So you're now 2 outs away from winning the game. So, and it's 6-2. So Hernandez, if he gets on, his run doesn't matter. Well, his run doesn't mean much. It'll be 6-4 if anything. But I know by dumb luck. So if they can just get him. Ball 1. Farland's got to be smarter about his pitches. Hoffman is warming up. And I believe not yet. No. I was going to say, is it a safe situation? I don't think so for Hoffman. It's not a safe situation yet. Well, I think he went. Yes, sir. He did. It just crossed the line. So the Blue Jays are going to be trying to settle nicely. 6-2. Strike two. Nice pitch to Enrique. So the Blue Jays are trying to finish this game off and then have the 2-2 split I had a funny feeling about, but in reverse of what I thought. No, I thought so. I thought that would have been, I thought he didn't go 2-2. So, yeah. So, yeah, like I was thinking Blue Jays win game 3 to go up 2-1, and then OHTANI screws us, and then it's 2-2. And then at least you got a game in Toronto. Swing and a miss, strike 3. All right. Now, if we can just get call out, we don't have to worry about OHTANI. Now, of course, if call gets on and OHTANI does go yard, metaphorically, it's 6-5. So OHTANI can't hurt us in a sense. But still, you never know. Yeah, Farland is going to be out there to get the last out. It's not going to be a save, but a win's a win. Here. The pitch to call. Strike. Ooh, they called a little strike on him. That was a little too low. I'll be honest with you. I'll be upfront with you. That looked a little low. But yeah, so one more out to go. Up, step off by Farland. It's not a balk, but one more step off, and that's going to be runner moves to third. So he had to do that. He had to step off like that. 0-1. Stepped off again. That's kind of weird. I thought they would call something on him. Oh, one pitch. Yeah, he stepped off one too many times. Like, just pitch. You have 2 outs. Yeah, honestly, it's like, don't worry about the runner on second because that run does not matter. But that run makes it 6-3. Yeah, but still. I mean, yeah, I mean that run's not gonna bite you in the butt. Just pitch, and you have 1 out to go. Just bloody pitch. Sorry, I'm just anxious right now because if the Blue Jays can just finish us off, this would be great. Oh, yes! Blue Jays victory time! Yes! Woo! We got a 6th for sure. Yippee! Well, good game, good pitching by the Blue Jays. Well, that proved me wrong. I thought the Jays were screwed, but nope. Whew. Well, that's a W. And as Mark Twain famously says, reports of my death have been premature. And I think the Blue Jays would say that too. So we got a game 6, Halloween night. Now the question is, can the Blue Jays win tomorrow in game 5? Now the question is, are they going to go with Yi Savage? Because he hasn't had a road postseason start. Is Trey going to pitch against Snell? Snell did lose. We did take Snell in game 1. So as long as we can take Snell in game 5, I have confidence. Now my confidence level has jumped up. Oh, I might as well just give you the basketball cards. Okay, let's give you the 7-card Monty, if you will. So the rest of the Panini 2025 cards in the set. Here we go. First of all, we have Andrew Naberhard, the Canadian. He is from Gonzaga. Naberhard, he was playing for the Pacers in last year's NBA Finals. One of 4 Canadians in the NBA Finals. That was Naberhard. Who was the other Canadian? I can't remember who the other Canadian. Oh, Mafferin. And the 2 Canadians on OKC were SGA and also, what's his name? Dort. All right. Next up is Dennis Schroeder from Deutschland. He was for the Raptors, then went to Brooklyn. And he was pretty impressive and all that. Yeah. Schroeder helped the German national team win the 2023 FIBA World Cup. The Basketball World Cup. Germany won the final. Canada beat the Americans in overtime for 3rd. It was one of our best moments ever. Jaden Ivey, a good player from Purdue. He's a pretty good player for Purdue before Mr. Sack Edey did his job. And then Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga, the guy that I really wanted the Raptors to take in 2021, but didn't. It actually worked out well for us. We got, what is his name? Raptors number 4. I can't remember. But nevertheless, yeah, Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga. I really wanted him on the Raptors instead of the other guy. But the other guy has produced. Marvin Bagley from Duke. One of the iconic players from Duke. Bagley the 3rd. Nick Claxton from Georgia University. And the blue card and all that, but yeah. Nick Claxton. Damian Lillard from Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Bucks. 23-24. I thought it was 24-25 when he came from Portland. So we played 2 seasons in Milwaukee. The dime. And then Trey Jones from the University of Duke. He's a player. And finally, we have Dylan Jones from Weber State. So that's all. We'll end this at 310. 10-10. Just kidding. But anyway, yeah. I don't know if I'll be doing Game 5 stream. Game 6, I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.